Thank you for coming back to my channel. One of the things that I talk about, that I discuss on my channel, is um, about how people need to learn how to guard their heart. That's like one of the biggest things. When a story about me, I was raised in a Christian home. I'm a Christian now. I was raised in a Christian home, and we are taught that you're supposed to forgive, okay? And how we're supposed to forgive like 77 times, and which means you're supposed to have unlimited forgiveness, because we're taught that if you don't forgive others, then you won't be forgiven. So that was one of the reasons why in my life I had trouble, because I didn't understand. I grew up in a home where, I had siblings and dogs and just a normal family. Not a perfect family, no, but a pretty normal family. I didn't, have to deal with a lot of abuse, or, my mom was a yeller, so I did have to deal with that kind of stuff, but when she got mad, but I didn't have to deal with like someone molesting me and things like that. I didn't have to deal with things like that. So I grew up in this Christian environment, and I went to church and everything, and I was taught to, love people and treat people the way I want to be treated. Well, one of the problems was that when I became an adult, when I was in junior high and high school, I wasn't allowed to date. I did not, I was not allowed to date until I got in college, okay? So I wasn't allowed to be around boys until I was at least like 18, 19 years old. And my parents just, once I got into college and I started, hanging out with friends there, my parents were like, okay, we did our job. So, we're going to free you up. So I went from being like completely controlled to like, my parents was like, okay, you're an adult now. We did our job. You're a good girl. See you later. Go on and have fun. Get your college degree and have fun. Well, that proved to be difficult, because if you've been in a prison, and I'm not going to say prison, but if you've been somewhere like totally controlled, um, all your life, and then all of a sudden the door, opens up, and then you're like, okay, this is weird. I don't know what to do. I was kind of like that. I had to like really, excuse me, um, I keep clearing my throat. I apologize, but I had to like, figure out my way. But one of the things I'm talking about, with this discussion, is that, you know, forgiveness can be like used against you. And um I was taught that, like, you can I was taught that you forgive people. So when I became an adult, I was like in my mid 20s. I was working on my master's degree. I went down with a bunch of my girlfriends, and I went to Atlanta. Okay, I'm from a small Midwest town. It's a town, but I wasn't from like the country, but it's a small town. So when I went down there, I ended up meeting someone, and me and him like talked for like a whole year before we met. So he told me, like, when I first met him, I said, are you married? He was like, no. I said, do you have any children? He said, no. I said, do you have a girlfriend or anything like that? He said, no. Well, I I was naive, so it's gonna make me look really stupid, okay? All this is gonna make me look stupid, because in a way I was very like, my stupidity came from being naive. That's where my stupidity came from. It came from not understanding how things worked. What I learned, and it actually um took a long time for me to understand, was that I'm working on a different playing field. Like, I'm playing one game, and the world is playing another game. So I'm playing this game, thinking naive that I'm playing this one game because I'm taught to play this game this way. But nobody else is playing the game that way but me. So I had to like rethink things. And that's one of the things I say, you know, just because somebody is when you don't have to change who you are to combat people that are out to do hateful stuff against you. You don't have to combat, like, I have been in situations in which I have had to break up with people because they were mistreating me. Now, I could have taken all my I could have taken all this guy's stuff, threw it out on the ground, and let everybody take his things, and he, and just be hateful. But to me, the best way I deal with breakups is I just leave them alone. I've learned that that's a way to leave to get the person out of my life, but I don't have to be hateful about it. I don't have to be wicked about it. I noticed that people are so damaged now. When you meet people, they're so damaged, and that you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your heart. You have to protect who you are, because playing field is different. And that's like me. I have girlfriends, and it was like five or six of us. We were all raised the same way. We were raised in Christian homes. One of my friends, like, she was God, Church of God in Christ. I was Baptist. I had a friend that was Baptist. I have another friend that's, what is it? She's Protestant. What is she? Protestant. I mean, she's Protestant, but she's like Presbyterian. So we were all like raised like in these Christian homes. And basically, even though our theologies was different, we were pretty much raised the same way. Like, if you're a Christian of any type, we are all raised like kind of similar. Okay. So, I mean, some parents are stricter than others, but it's pretty much kind of the same thing. So when we were raised like that, we all were grew up together. We all were released into the world, and the world beat our butt because the way we were taught as being Christian women, the world didn't, we weren't able to go through the world that way. And a lot of us went through a lot of damaging issues when it came to meeting men, because when we met men, a lot of them were uh, terrible people, and we didn't know that. We weren't protected, you know. So we ended up having a lot of issues behind that. But the thing is, with this discussion that I'm talking about today, is that, um, you don't have to change who you are. What you can do is you can learn how to protect yourself by being able to recognize people for who they are. And um, one of the things that I'll talk about is how to vet people, how to be able to vet people to save yourself from going through the things that I have gone through, to save yourself from going through the things that my friends have gone through. My girlfriend now, she is very, um, she went from being a lamb to a tiger. I went from being a lamb to a shark. I'm totally different than how I was when I first left my parents' home. I'm different. She's different. She told me that what woke her up was her husband straddling her in the bed, and he punched her in her face and broke her nose. And she said that's what woke her up. And she said, I am so different now. That that changed the course of what I've, that changed the course of myself, of my life. And she said he straddled me and punched me in the face and broke my nose. And she said to this day, he wants to get back with me because I was a good person to him. And she said, I will never, ever deal with someone like that again. Um, when you're a woman and you're Christian, we're taught that you're supposed to be a certain way. But I'm going to teach you, how to be. One thing you have to be is, yes, you have to be kind, you have to be loving, you have to treat people with respect, you know, but at the same time, you have to be able to see through people or see people as who they are. And some people are just wicked. Some people are wolves. Some people are not going to mean you anything good. We're going to talk about like, like there's so many girls, and I'm a woman. I don't deal with a lot of men in the sense of date, what they go through. I have men friends that tell me that women, are only after their money and things like that, but maybe some of the things that I can say can help, help them. But one of the things I always say is you need to vet people, you need to vet people. If you have a good, loving heart, you should protect your heart and guard your heart and be that good person, but at the same time, be careful of people that will come into your life. And in my next discussion, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how to vet people, what to do, what to do when you're in situations. You don't always have to be wicked and evil just because somebody else is wicked and evil to you. The best thing to do is to walk away, get rid of that person. That is one of the best things to do. If somebody comes into your life and they're hurting you, there's no reason to be. You don't have to be hateful to that person. All you have to do is just leave. You don't have to deal with them no more, and you just go on with your life. So one of the next things that I'm gonna talk about is like how to vet people, and yeah, how to vet people, and what are some of the things that you can do when you meet a person to, um, how to go slow with the person, because there's a lot of guys out here and a lot of girls out here that are just consumed with sex. That's all they want, and to use people. And if you slow it down to a snail's pace, a lot of times they get sick of it. And there are guys out there that say, oh, well, if she's slow with me, I'm going to be slow with her. And then I'm going to, as soon as I have sex with her, I'm dumping her for what she did to me. She made me wait. So I'm going to pay her back. Now, there are people out there that are just wicked and evil, and that's evil to say something like that. So I'm a play a game. It's all a game, and this is why people end up having their hearts are all messed up. When you meet them, their hearts are already broken. So anyway, if you like this discussion, please like, subscribe, and I will try hard to stay on one. Um, to try not, I'll try hard not to get off on a tangent. I have for some reason I kind of do that. But anywho, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification button because I will be back. You have a good day. Bye.